morning you came to know about why Preksha meditation, why we need to learn, why we get connect with the self. The next question comes is how to do. So before that, I would like to ask you one question, not me. The question was asked to a philosopher, Socrates. I think you might have heard about his name. Once he was going somewhere and a person came to him and asked few questions to him. The very first question what he asked to him is, what is the biggest thing in this world? I think I should not ask you because most of you are practicing observing silence, right? It's fine. So let me answer you. What was his answer? The biggest thing in the world, this world is, many people say the God, knowledge, or different answers would be there. But the answer of Socrates was, the sky is the biggest thing in this world. Sky is the biggest, even from Jain perspective you see, sky accommodates living things and non-living things as well. So even here, where is sky? It's a general norm is sky is like up. You just look at up and outside sky is there. But according to Jain philosophy, sky is everywhere. All the empty space is sky. And it accommodates all of us, living and non-living things. The second question was asked was, what is the object with the speed, most speed in this world? Okay. Electricity, light, many different answers would be there. Mind. Yeah. So the answer of Socrates was mind. Mind moves so fast. You are sitting here. If I ask you what is there in your refrigerator at the home, right away you will know what is there in your fridge, right? Because mind goes there. So mind is very fast. And the next question was asked to him was, what is the difficult task in this world? Keeping silence is a difficult task? I don't think so. Many of you are practicing it. So it's not difficult. Talking the whole day is difficult? Even that is not difficult. So he said, before that the question was, what is the easiest task in this world? Talking is easiest, right? Or sleeping is easiest. Nothing is easiest. You cannot sleep for more than 24. After that you will be tired. You want to do something else, right? What is it is easiest task according to Socrates was giving suggestion without being asked. Yeah, if it is asked to you, you will not answer. But if someone is doing, many people are there to suggest him. So suggesting without being asked is the easiest task. And the last question was, what is the difficult task in this world? Then the answer was, to know thyself is the difficult task. Right? We all agree with him? Yes. We try to know this external world, but we don't take time to know the self. Self is very far, though it is within ourselves. But when we say, think about Atma, you will say, Samniji, it is the philosophical aspect. It's not easy to see the Atma. Atma is very far. Where it is? Is it in Moksha Mahavidya Kshetra? It is with you, within your body, right? So everywhere, where Atma is in our body? Where is the soul in our body? Everywhere. According to many philosophers, different viewpoints are there. Atma is only in heart, in brain, or in spinal cord. But according to the Jainism, Atma is everywhere. All the conscious points are there throughout the body, every single point. So Atma, to see the Atma is the difficult task. Okay, don't worry about that. In previous class, you might have learnt about what to see. See yourself through yourself, right? Do you remember which are the supporting components of Preksha meditation? How many of them? How many? 3. 4. 3, 4. Okay, which are they?
Perception.
Concentration. No.
It's your memory test also because evening also, at least keep up to evening. So 3 supporting components of Preksha meditation: Asan, Mudra and Dhvani. Which 2 dhvanis are recommended in Preksha meditation? Arham and Mahapran Dhvani. Okay, which postures, sitting postures are recommended in Preksha meditation? Vajrasana. Very good. You have good memory. And Mudra. Which hand Parshasarika Mudra? Gyan Mudra and Vitrag Mudra or Brahma Mudra. Vitrag Mudra or Brahma Mudra. So these are the components, and the question when came to what to see yourself through yourself. So how will you see? When we say Atma ko dekho, Atma Sakshatkar, see your soul, it is very far, we cannot see Atma right now, then what to see? How to see? To see through your cognition, all your external gross activities, physical, mental and emotional activities, verbal activities, what you are doing, every single moment, watching yourself, observing yourself since morning to the night, you will see that, you will experience yourself that your life got changed. So see yourself through yourself. तो अपने द्वारा अपने आप को देखना है. Now question is how to see. What is the procedure? How we can enter into the world of Priksha meditation? When you get connected with yourself, you will enjoy, you will see yourself totally a different personality, integrated personality. Right now we are connected with this external world. We are looking through this open eyes, through this external world. We don't connect with our own self, which is very important. And I can tell you that when it's my own experience, when I got connected with myself, the very first question was, who am I? You will not get answer in one day. That who am I? You will not get answer. You will say, oh, this is my name, this is my external identity, this is me. But not this is me. Me is something more than this. Me is something beyond this. So what is me? We will get answer of this question, who am I, when? If you keep on asking this question to yourself regularly, constantly, with commitment. The commitment is very important. Unless you commit yourself, you will not reach anywhere else. You need to set some goal and commit yourself and start moving towards your goal. Then only you can reach somewhere and you can analyze yourself that I am somewhere else. Previously, 1 month before when I started practicing meditation, I was some different personality and today I am different. So you will analyze that way. Otherwise, without goal, if you set some goal to come here to attend this retreat, then you set that goal, direction and took their proper direction and you came here, right? If you don't take and put any goal, destination, where you will reach? You will be lost. I think some of you are also already lost here, even in this campus itself. So it happens. Even in this external world, we get lost. When we don't set proper directions, we get lost in the life where you are. You will be lost if you don't set any goal for your life. So it is very important to connect yourself with the inner being, with some commitment, with faith, and start your journey. So journey starts from gross to the subtle. Right away, it's not a miracle that you started practicing Priksha meditation and you realize the self. It won't happen in one day. It needs practice, it needs consistency, it needs your faith and positive attitude. So start your journey with some commitment, and process is here. So these are the four initial steps we recommend to the beginners. Practice with these 4 steps: Kayotsar, Antaryatra, Shwas Preksha, and Jyoti Kendra Preksha. So these are the 4 initial steps we recommend beginners. How many of you are beginners? Have never practiced Priksha meditation? Okay, good to know that many of you are aware about Priksha meditation and practice Priksha meditation. But those who are new, I am sure you will take away something from this retreat, and for your life enrichment, empowerment, you will definitely commit yourself. I hope that way. So these are the 4 steps. Let's go one by one. So do you these 4 steps are clear in your mind? Kayotsar, Antaryatra, Dirgha Shwas Preksha, and Jyoti Kendra Preksha. So the very first is Kayotsar. What is Kayotsar? How to practice Kayotsar, and why we need to practice Kayotsar. So what is Kayotsar? The Kayotsar word itself is made up of 2 words, Kaya and Utsarg. So Kaya means body, Utsarg means to give up. Give up your body while practicing relaxation. Is it possible? While alive, can we give up our body? So what does it mean actually? Here, to give up the body means to give up the attachment towards your body, attachment towards your liking and disliking, attachment towards your belongings, attachment towards your relations, relatives, attachment towards your name and fame and reputation, everything. Attachment creates misery, attachment creates pain. So there are 2 different things, attachment and awareness. Don't be attached with your belongings, but be aware about your belongings. Does it make sense? Is that difference? If I'm aware about my this belonging, I will take care of it. It shouldn't lose. Nothing should happen to it. That's fine. But if I'm attached to it, oh, no one should use it. Only I am going to use it. If someone touched it, I will get mad on them because I'm attached with my belonging. So there is a difference between attachment and awareness. So awareness is always important. Keep up your awareness, but don't be too much attached with your body, your belongings, your family, relatives. लोग बोलेंगे कि फिर if you don't have attachment, how we can live it together? Live in harmony with friendliness. So the same friendliness have for everybody, all living creatures. That's what Bhagwan Mahavir taught us. Metti me sabba bhuyesu. Be friendly with all living beings, not only with your family, not only those people who you know. Be friendly with even enemies. First of all, don't have any enemy, but even if you have some ill feeling for anybody else, it would be your greatness to forgive them. Have friendliness with them. So Kayur sir helps us to develop the quality of detachment. So it is clear what is Kayur sir? Kayur sir is Kaya ka utsar. The meaning of Kayur sir is give up your body. Kaya and utsar. It is made up of two words, Kaya and utsar, which means give up your body. The literal meaning is give up your body, and the actual meaning is give up attachment towards your body. How to practice Kayur sir? The very special thing is auto-suggestion. There is hypnotism. People get confused with hypnotism, whether Kayur sir is hypnotism. You hypnotize anybody. No. Here you make your own auto-suggestion. You give your own auto-suggestion to your body, mind and emotions. So this is very important key point. What technique we use in Kayur sir is auto-suggestion. Keep it in your mind. What is the technique which we use in Kayur sir is auto-suggestion. Not other suggestion, not is hypnotism, it is auto-suggestion. And why? Absence of physical strain and mental stress is precondition for practicing meditation. Kayur sir is an essential part to practice meditation. Because in Kayur sir what we do, we give auto-suggestion to our whole body to relax every single part. So once your body is relaxed, your mind becomes stable. Once your body and mind are stable, they help you to get into the deeper level of meditation. So Kayur sir is essential part. Is it clear? If some ripples are there in water, you cannot see what's there at the surface of water. But when it calms, water waves are all calm, then you can see something is there in the water. In the same way, when your body is fickle, activities are going on in your mind, you cannot practice meditation. Thus the question comes, people say, Samniji, we don't sit in meditation because as soon as we sit in meditation, thought starts bothering me. So is that so? Mind only bothers you when you sit in meditation. Is it right?
Yes.
Yes. Because we don't know the function of mind. What is the mind's function? There are three functions of mind: thinking, imagining and memories, past memories, memorizing. So these are the three functions of our mind. Constantly mind is engaged with all these three functions. We don't realize it. But when we sit quietly in meditation, then we realize, oh, my thoughts are bothering me. Otherwise, thoughts are constantly 24/7, they are coming and going. But we don't pay attention to them. But when you sit quietly, then you realize those things. So we say that thoughts are bothering me, that's why I don't practice meditation. And what happens in the very next step? You give up. You don't practice. Is that happens with your business, your job? If your job is very difficult, your business is very tough, do you give up? You don't. You practice. So you try your best, and finally you achieve success. In the same way, don't give up, which leads you towards your inner being. The very important thing, we just ignore them. So it is very important to keep this in mind that I have to first make my body and mind stress-free, make them stable, then only I can enter into the meditation level. Is my language is okay?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So, why stress? Meditation, Kayur sir, means to release the stress. So, why stress occurs? Why we become so stressed? See your own lifestyle. What kind of lifestyle you lead? Poor management. There's no management. Proper management is not there. What management? All the time management, life management, emotion management, your stress management, your lifestyle. If you see, I don't know how many of you are really okay with yourself that okay, I'm very managed, very well organized, yeah, my emotions are very balanced, or I get my mind is so reactory, very frequently or very easily my mind get distracted, my mind becomes so reactive, or you are able to handle your situations, your emotions. That's important questions, key questions which you need to ask to yourself. So poor management, which leads to work pressure, time pressure, because you don't have time is not organized, then work pressure comes, poor financial situations, poor relationship, and information pressure. I don't know how much information we load in our brain, whatever is important or not important, everything we keep on loading in our brain, right? How many important information is there, and how much non-important information is there in your mind. If you see, the ratio is much more. We just keep on feeding our mind with all unnecessary thoughts and things, and that bothers us a lot and creates a stress. So this is what mental stress, but along with it, physically, since morning to the evening, we keep on we engage ourselves in all activities, but we don't take time to release the stress. When you do activities, you accumulate stress, but you don't take time to release the stress. So ultimately what happens? The stress gets accumulated more and more and piles up, and that turns into different kinds of diseases. We call them, I have spondylitis, I have back pain, I have different knee pains, all those things. These are all pain, accumulated stress is there. So when you practice exercise, meditation, pranayam, you release them, through your catharsis, you can release all your stress. So Kaivalsa really helps here to release all kinds of stresses, physical, mental and emotional stresses. Why stress? What are the causes? Mental and emotional causes: unlimited desires, unnecessary thoughts, memories and imaginations, negative thinking, lack of concentration, ego, feeling of liking and disliking. So many things. I don't need to explain all these things. I think you all go through these things from whole day. If you just keep one day take as one day as a project, see from morning up to the evening when you go to the bed, how many times you get into negative emotions. You got into negative emotions. How many times you hurt yourself. How many times you hurt others through your actions, through your speech, through your thoughts. If you see, your list will go on and on. Unknowingly, knowingly, we do so many things and we don't realize that I have hurt myself, I have hurt others too. So this is very important. All these things cause mental emotional stress. So unlimited desires are very important. कहते हैं 4 गड्ढे कभी भरते नहीं हैं. 4 holes. Which are those 4? एक तो पेट का खड्डा कभी भरता ही नहीं है. उपवास रोज थोड़ी होता है, कभी कभी करते हैं, साल में 1 या 2 बार करते हैं, राइट? Once or twice you do उपवास, but not other every day you do. So पेट का खड्डा कभी नहीं भरता. Then ocean कभी खाली नहीं होता. It needs how many of rivers they will come, it will accept it. Ocean also will accept it. And then शमशान, crematorium, खड्डा भरता है, crematorium का खड्डा कभी नहीं भरता है. और चौथा खड्डा है तृष्णा का. तृष्णा है desires are endless. Sky is the limit बोलते हैं, the deserts endless बोलते हैं. इतनी endless है कि one you accomplish one desire, the second is ready to go. So if desires are endless, I used to say there are infinity in 2 different worlds. Materialistic world we call infinity, infinite desires, and in spiritual world also we call infinity is there. Do you know what is the difference between this? Which one you can accomplish? Materialistic infinity you can accomplish, or spiritualistic infinity will accomplish? Which is that? We all believe, we all have faith in Jainism, and Jainism says that every single soul possesses infinite knowledge, Anant Gyan, Anant Darshan, Anant Shakti, Anant Anand, right? Infinite knowledge, infinite perception, infinite bliss, and infinite power, strength. So we all possess these 4 infinite things within ourselves. If you explore those things, you will find it, you will achieve it, you will accomplish it. That's where our Tirthankaras, our omniscients are there. They have reached that level by exploring themselves, by searching the truth from within themselves. They reach the infinity. But if you run after all this external infinity, you will reach nowhere. infinite lifetimes will pass, but you will never accomplish anything. Always there will be something, 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 right? So see that these are all things which create stress. And if you see the mechanism of stress, how it works on physical level. If some condition happens, stressful condition happen in front of you, what will happen? For example, if snake comes here, snake is there, what happens? Fear. We all want to run from here, right? Already your face, everything is shows that okay, she's somehow, a lot of fear is there and she wants to run out of this room. Why? Because snake is there. So snake created a situation which made you so stressed. So that condition is there. So what happens? Here we have hypothalamus. It activates, it stimulates our hypothalamus, and then hypothalamus activates our pituitary gland, which is there within the brain. From this point, if you go inside the brain, we have the pituitary gland. It activates pituitary gland, and that secretes hormone which is called ACTH, and this hormone stimulates the adrenal cortex. We have two adrenal glands. Do you know where these two adrenal glands are in our body? Yeah, about the kidneys. So we have two kidneys. On the top of the kidneys and a triangle cap shape, there are two glands are there which are called adrenal glands. So this ACTH hormone stimulates this gland cortex, and this cortex secretes adrenaline hormone. And this has adrenaline hormone stimulate or activates our SNS, means sympathetic nervous system. So sympathetic nervous system makes us more active, aggressive, and it makes us either fight or flight the situation. So for example, snake is here, either you will fight with snake or you will fly from here, you will run away from here. So anything you will do, but these two things happen because of this stress mechanism. So if this remain for long duration, that turns into diseases. Stress comes, that's fine. But if you are not able to manage your stress, then they keep on accumulating, and that turns into physical as well as mental or emotional diseases. So this is what the mechanism, I can see this hypothalamus we have here in the brain, and this gets stimulated. This secretes CRH and activates pituitary gland. Pituitary gland secretes ACTH hormone, and that triggers our adrenal glands, and adrenal glands secretes adrenaline hormone, which makes our sympathetic nervous system more active, and it makes our liver to work fast. It keeps our heartbeat so fast. It makes our breath so fast. So all these things. Once I can in medical study, I studied one somewhere else, that if you get angry for 1 minute, it drains your 9 hours energy. 9 hours energy. How much energy you accumulate every day by eating, by drinking, by doing something, you accumulate your energy, and just 1 minute angry spoils your 9 minutes energy. 9 hours. Oh, I'm sorry. 9 hours. So does it sound logical? It's not. It's not. But if I tell you how it happens, when you get angry, what happens to your body, your physical entity? Blood pressure goes up, heart has to beat faster, your breath, blood circulation, respiration, your face becomes so red, your lips started flickering, your nose become wider, your eyes become red, your head becomes so hot, and so many other things are happening within our body. So all these things need energy. So where does energy come from? So whatever energy we have, all these things, stressful actions, they drain our energy. So this is, in this way they have said that 9 hours energy it is drained when you get angry for even 1 minute. So if you think about yourself, how long you keep your anger with you. When you get angry in the morning, you come in the evening at home and say sorry to your wife. So whole day you keep that anger with you. It spoils you. It drains all your energies. Not only energy, it makes us mad. It makes a person mad, and even you call yourself intelligent, but when you become angry, you don't know what you're doing. You do some madful activities, right? Person does like that. So this thing happen with this mechanism, and so Kaiser can be practiced in 3 postures. So Kaiser here is helpful to release our stress, basically. So what stress? Physical, mental, as well as emotional stress. So Kaiser can be practiced in 3 postures: lying down posture, sitting or standing postures. And then body, when we give auto suggestion, morning you practiced Kaiser, right? We give auto suggestion to left feet, toes, and lower abdomen. Inside the abdomen, we suggest all the organs, chest cavity. So at least at superficial level, if you know your body that where I am giving suggestion exactly, you can feel that okay, this part got relaxed. If I'm giving suggestion to my fingers, I feel okay, my fingers are now relaxed. So at least somewhere else try to understand, try to know the parts and organs of your body. So you can see your brain, your muscle joints, your heart, your stomach, pancreas, small intestine, large intestines, all are given here. You all have the Google's Baba with you, Google Guru with you. So you can Google it and see the pictures when you practice Kaiser, see yourself. So results of Kaiser, it relieves physical stress, activates alpha waves in brain, rate of metabolism, breathing, heart rate beats, get slowed down, concentration is achieved. So at physical level this is achieved. And if I see it's just a small clip here, you can find how it works. Volume is now there. Ready? Ready, please.
I'm good.
Volume. Okay.
You got mail.
So this is how when you take more stress and you perform, you cannot perform properly or in a proper way. So relax yourself before any performance, before any action, to any condition. Just relax yourself and then respond. You will get good results. So that's what Kayod sir we talked about. And the second step is Antaryatra, internal trip. And internal trip again is an essential part of for meditation. The Kayod is important to make your body stable, and the internal trip is important because what we do in internal trip, we focus. What is internal trip? Antaryatra. We take inner voyage, and why? To move the energy upward, and how we do to undertake a journey inside the spinal cord. So we focus our mind in a spinal cord, and from the bottom of the spinal cord, we uplift our energy towards the top. So what happens? Our bottom of the spinal cord is a store of energy. From there, we uplift our energy and make our brain more powerful. Weak body cannot practice meditation. To practice meditation, we need to have the strong stamina. So internal trip helps us to make our body so strong, because when your brain becomes so powerful, it distributes energy to all the organs of your body, and your body becomes strong. You can handle it. You can practice meditation. Because when you go into the deeper level of meditation, it creates heat energy. If your body is weak, it cannot take it. So for that, our body has to be strong, and internal trip helps to make our body stronger. So scientific aspects, if you see, there are three branches of nervous system. In our backbone, if you see, the central nervous system, and it is divided into two peripheral systems, which are called sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Basically, sympathetic nervous system makes us active, and parasympathetic nervous system makes us passive. So both are important. Here we can see the coexistence of two opposite things. One is passive, one is active, but both of them stay together and they help each other, and they bring balance in our body, physically, mentally, and emotionally. So Hatha Yoga, there is like if you compare with Hatha Yoga, there are three terms are used in Hatha Yoga: Pingala, Ida, and Sushumna. So if you connect with the sympathetic nervous system from scientific term, so Pingala is connected with sympathetic nervous system, and Ida is parasympathetic nervous system, and Sushumna is spinal cord. If we connect with our nostrils, then you can see which is sympathetic and which is parasympathetic. Anyone know?
The right is sympathetic.
Yes. The right nostril is connected with sympathetic nervous system, and the left nostril is connected with parasympathetic nervous system. Make sure, keep it in your mind. Right is with sympathetic, left is with parasympathetic nervous system. And it is called Pingala, and the left is called Ida. And the Sushumna is spinal cord. So if you see, both the nostrils, they are not activated all the time in the day, during the day. If you see, which nostril is activated right now? So any one of them, right? Either right or left. Someone said maybe right, someone right, because now you have had your lunch. So right is active now. So after some time, left will be activated. But very few times during the day, both the nostrils are activated, and that is called spiritual time. If you are aware about that time, when both the nostrils are activated, you can practice some good spiritual activities, and it will help you to secrete more positive hormones, which can lead you towards peaceful state. So that we have to aware about it. Normally we say morning 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, evening 7 o'clock, or 5 o'clock. These times both the nostrils become like they are activated. To find out if it is not happens when both are activated, it's just according to your body, you can find it out. So in internal trip, what we do, we focus all our mind inside the spinal cord, at the bottom of spinal cord. We take just an example. We put bucket in a well to get water in. So we put empty bucket in the well, and then we fill the bucket with the water, and then we push the bucket up and bucketing in the pot or somewhere else, emptying in it. In the same way, our mind from up towards the top, it goes to the down empty hand and goes down, because down the edge part of spinal cord is a storehouse of energy. It fills energy with it, and then again it comes up. We pull it up and empty that energy, vital energy, in our brain. So in that way, this process makes our brain so powerful. We come down with empty hand, We take energy from the bottom, we empty that energy in the brain and make our brain powerful. This is the process of internal trip. So, and when we align this process with breathing, we inhale, go down, and when we exhale, we come up. So you can see this becomes more scientific and proper way. Many people say we do in other way, but it is not scientific. You can get confused. Many people, they get confused how to do it. So to make it easy, I can tell you, when you inhale, what happens? Air goes from up to the down in your lungs, right? So in the same way, when you inhale, your mind goes down. When you exhale, carbon dioxide comes from lungs to the nose and you take it out. In the same way, when you exhale, your mind comes from down to the up towards your brain. So this is the process. You can connect with it. And when you do this with breathing exercise, you really will feel the vibrations, any kind of sensations in your spinal cord. So results of Antar Yatra, leading towards inner voyage, upliftment of vital energy towards the top, clarity of vision. It makes you more positive, it makes you more stronger, it makes you a little bit an introvert also, not only in the external world, not only extrovert, but also makes you introvert. Introvert is not in negative sense, but in spiritual field, you need to be introvert also. So it helps you to be inside with yourself. Then third step is Shwas Preksha. So third step, Dirgha Shwas Preksha, we practice deep breathing, and it is very important. Our lungs has capacity to inhale almost 6 liters of air, but hardly we take half a liter. So how shallow our breath is, we can find it out, and there is a deep connection with our breath and emotions. When you become angry, when you are in anger mood, what happens? Your breath rate goes very fast, it becomes so shallow, right? So there are deep connection with our emotions and our breath. So when you practice deep breathing, it calms all our emotions down and makes us so peaceful, brings our mind in a peaceful state. And Samriddhi Shwas Preksha is alternative breathing. Alternative breathing is again important and very best technique, I will say, for most of your problems. If you practice this alternative breathing, Samriddhi Shwas Preksha, it definitely brings good results, positive results. I can say from my own experience that every day when you practice this, because it brings equilibrium in all the organs, all the functions of our body. According to the scientific view, if you see, our left nostril is connected with right brain and right nostril is connected with left brain. So when we practice this alternative breathing, it activates right brain, right activates left brain, and through this, left brain activates the right portion of body and right brain activates the left portion of body, opposite way, it goes in opposite cross way. So it brings equilibrium all the functions and systems of our body. So alternative breathing is the best technique, I will say, because through this practice you can also practice deep breathing, deep Shwas Preksha also. So you make your breath longer, and proper way of breathing is when you inhale, your stomach should come out. Does it happen in the same way or it goes other way? It goes other way, right? We don't pay attention on it whether we are doing in the right way or not. So just the right way how to do it. So put your palm on your stomach and with force exhale and press your stomach in. Push your stomach in. Then slowly inhale. So in that way you can make a proper way of breathing. You can make it correct. Right? It is very important. If it goes wrong way, it really brings imbalance in our emotions and also body functions. So make it correct. And what is the perception of deep breathing? Why we practice this? To move from gross to the subtle. So when your breath becomes so calm and deep, it takes you towards the inner world and it helps you to find out, explore your inner capacities, abilities, your potentialities, your energies, your talents, your skills. You can find it out through yourself inside. So it helps to go to the gross to the subtle, and senses to beyond senses level, mind to beyond mind, and material to the spiritual world. And how we do it, we perceive the breath without liking and disliking, which is very important. Shwas Preksha means, Preksha, you are perceiving your Shwas. Only perception, without any liking or disliking is very important thing. Without attachment or hatred, we just perceive. Shwas aa raha hai, Shwas ja raha hai. That's it, you just perceive breath is coming in and coming out. It is food and water for us, for life, and breath is great source of vital energy. It is intimately connected with mind and emotions, as I said earlier. And physical well-being, controlled mind, and purified emotions awaken our spiritual energy. Breath is vehicle to take us towards the spiritual world. So we can make our breath as a vehicle, and we can travel inside our inner space. So mechanism of breathing is, if you are shallow breathing, it means what? It reaches only up to the clavicle muscles, up to your collarbones. And if you take little more deeper, then it reaches up to the intercostal muscles. We have the muscles in between the rib cage. And if you take the deep breathing, then it reaches up to your diaphragm. So we have diaphragm beneath our both the lungs in a D shape. When you inhale, this D-shaped diaphragm goes down. So it pushes all our abdominal muscles. So that's why we say when we inhale, our stomach comes out. How it comes out? Because our diaphragm pushes it down, all the muscles. So that's why our stomach comes out. This is a scientific proper way of breathing. So it means make sure when you inhale, your stomach is coming out. It means you are taking proper breathing. You are in right way. So try to practice complete scientific diaphragmatic breathing. So this is clear. Is it clear? So when you inhale, your stomach comes out. How it comes out? Because you take deep breathing and pressure goes to your diaphragm. Diaphragm goes down and it expands your abdominal muscles. That's why stomach comes out. And when you exhale, you squeeze in. Your stomach goes in.
Is it natural? When the children breathe also, the stomach come out.
Yeah, for children, because they don't have a lot of emotions in their mind. We have a lot of unnecessary informations. Emotions are connected with us. We are connected with this world, a lot of responsibilities. That's why we ignore and we don't pay attention on the proper way of breathing. When you start paying on it, your emotions, you will be able to manage your emotions. You will be able to calm your mind. You will be able to release your stress and you will be able to manage your lifestyle. So that's very important. And among these three mechanisms, diaphragmatic breathing is slow and deep, which is called scientific. And intercostal breathing is rapid and shallow. Clavicle breathing is very shallow. That's why we see dogs, they have very short lifespan because their breath rate is so fast. It's very fast, right? So their lifespan is very short. And results of perception of breathing is controls the breathing rate, enhancement of mental concentration, purification of blood, promotion of good health, establishes control and balance of emotions, self-realization and equanimity. Just few years back, maybe many years back, we had camp, Preksha meditation, 10 days Preksha meditation camp in Ahmedabad. The person came from Bombay, he attended the camp, he enjoyed the camp, and while going back, he said, Acharya Shri Mahapragya, I really enjoyed the camp. So Mahapragya said, okay, if you enjoyed, then practice at least half an hour every day. He said, no, I'm the busiest person on the earth, I cannot practice. I just came here because I had plenty of time and I practiced meditation. Going back, I cannot. Ajay said, it's okay, I cannot force you. Nobody can force nobody, right? So he said, okay, you can just try your best if you can practice. He took it and he went. Next year again in the camp he came to Acharya Shri and said, you will be surprised that I practice meditation 3 hours a day every day.
Wow.
So Acharya said, how come this big difference? You were the busiest person on the earth. How could you how we are able to take 3 hours? He said that I practiced because of your blessings. I continued my practice every day, half an hour I practiced, and after 3 or 4 months, I realized myself. My concentration power developed, my memory power developed, my emotions were very balanced, and my working efficiency developed. So my 6 hours job, I could able to finish my 6 hours job in 3 hours. So I thought that if half an hour meditation helped me a lot, let me practice more. So I use those 3 hours, spare 3 hours in my meditation to find more hidden potentialities from myself. So I really enjoy now doing this. For that, you need commitment. You have to commit yourself. And perception of alternative breathing. Why? To maintain equilibrium, I explained earlier. To develop a balanced way of life. To awaken the extrasensory perception. We practice alternative breathing. And I would suggest you this Samriddhi Shwas Preksha or alternative breathing is the best technique I can call you. Any problem you have, just start practicing this for 5 to 10 minutes every day and you will feel you will get some solutions or results of your problems. When you see problems grow more, they multiply. When you see solutions for the problems, solutions are right there in your mind. but we cover it with all the problems. So we are not able to see the solutions of our problems. So through this practice, you will be able to see the solutions from within yourself for all your problems. And when you stay positive, when you stay calm, you attract more positive vibes and energies. When you become more negative and stressed, you attract more negative energy and stress. So now it's your choice what you want to attract. So to achieve the goal of equanimity, there should be balance between Surya Swar and Chandra Swar. Which is Surya and which is Chandra? Okay, right nostril, which is sympathetic nervous system, Pingala is Surya Swar. Left nostril, parasympathetic nervous system, Ida and Chandra Swar. So many things to remember. Left brain and right nostril connected with left nostril connected with right brain. Sympathetic and parasympathetic, Pida and Ila, all are compared here together. So we need to bring balance in all these things. Okay, so now fourth step is Jyoti Kendra Preksha. Do you remember all the other three steps? Which are those? Kayotsar, Antaryatra and Dirgha Shwas Preksha or Samvriti, alternative breathing, Samvriti Shwas Preksha. And the fourth step is Jyoti Kendra Preksha, white color meditation. It's very important again. Perception of center of enlightenment. Here we have the middle of forehead. It is called center of enlightenment. We visualize bright white color here and give positive suggestion and try to make your suggestion so strong and intense that they can reach to your subconscious level. Once your suggestion is reached to subconscious level, they start working. It starts working, whatever it brings you result. So whatever goal we set, send it to your subconscious mind and it will start working on it and you will find the result for it. So perception of center of enlightenment, why we need to practice? To pacify all our negative emotions. If you feel so that I am so negative, I have become so negative very often, very easily, practice white color meditation. And how we do this? Focus on center of visualization. We perceive white color. You can imagine any white color, maybe a full moon or any bright snow. So color should be very bright and radiated, not dull colors. So bright white color, and then we contemplate, we give positive suggestion again and again. So it reaches to your subconscious mind and you can get result. So center of enlightenment is the center of transformation. Here we can say if you lack tolerance power, if you lack confidence power, if you lack, if you have a lot of negative emotions, anger or ego, deceit or love bothering you, you practice this white color meditation and definitely you will get positive result of it. And location is here, middle of your forehead, place of Agya Chakra according to the Hatha Yoga, and in science we call it, medical science, pineal gland. So perception, we perceive here and we give suggestion, my anger is going away, anger is not my nature is forgiveness, all my negative emotions are being pacified. So keep on giving these suggestions, and not only verbal suggestions, don't just make verbal suggestions, have that feeling with it, add that feeling with your suggestion and send those suggestions to your subconscious mind. So results of Jyoti Kendra, cultivating of positive emotions, fostering mind with peace and constructive thoughts, and enhancing inner virtues. So it really helps to develop all positive qualities. Even if you don't have time, take just 5 minutes or 10 minutes, practice alternative breathing, relax your body, practice alternative breathing, and then white color meditation, give positive suggestion to yourself and pacify all your negative emotions and replace them with positive ones. You will really enjoy it. Just commit yourself and see after 1 month, 2 months where you are. So here I am concluding. So I conclude my talk here, and if you have any question, I think you can write down, because most of you are more, they also might have questions, so you can write it down, and in discussion session we can discuss about your questions. Is that fine? Okay, if someone has questions, can you pass it?